Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, host of Maymania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now your host, Chris Marquardt.
Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to episode number 188 of the Crash Course podcast, coming to you live from the North Park building here at Academy Square. Excited to have everybody along for the ride with us tonight. It's a warm one out there. We haven't seen hide nor hair of anybody through the course of the day. Brian, I believe he's working with football. Josh, he's tied up with work right now, and Ben has, in addition to taking care of some stuff at home, he's got that hand injury, and hopefully he's going to be okay to go here in about 2 weeks when we make our way back out to Utah, Heber City, Utah, the destination this time, a little bit north of where we go typically when we head down to Ogden. We're going to go the opposite direction and go to Heber City for the Wasatch wipeout. We'll be talking to Johnny Gullo here in a little bit about that particular topic in a little bit, while he is on the way back from Canada. Went up there and they took third place in a two-man team derby up there north of the border, so good run for those guys. We'll get more details on that. We've got some information regarding the Midwest Smash Fest, some local derby results, and all that and more. We're going to be catching up with Ian Doyle at the end of the show to talk a little bit about him having the opportunity to go back to Seneca County, his hometown derby where his dad's won so many times. He now goes back as the defending champion here this week. They've got action at the Seneca County Fair on Thursday this week, and then Saturday is championship day for them. They got the four-cylinder championship, the full-size trucks, one and done. That huge modified show, which was one of the things I wanted to talk with Brian about, but my guess is he's probably working on getting cars done as we speak as well, if not football. And then the stock championship, which everybody's come to know and appreciate over there. So before we get into anything super deep demolition derby wise, some sad news came across the wires today. Found out about Pete Hansen's dad passing away. That's unfortunate. We send our condolences out to him. Pete's been a good friend of ours for a long time, and we share his loss. And hopefully everybody can send him a word of encouragement, word of well wishes, and some condolences. Send them his way. And then on a cheerier note, Cora K had posted some photos of Tegan. We're following the life and struggle of Tegan, who is going through some cancer treatments. And struggle probably isn't the fair word, because this kid's doing more than I do on a regular basis. I saw over the weekend that he had participated in a local festival mile walk, and they had put out the word to get Today We Play on all the derby cars that were running this past weekend, and the Cora's Facebook was flooded with photos with Today We Play on it, which was a local initiative that she's active with. Corey Mittler had that Thunderbird that he had run, and he had Today We Play on it. There was a bunch of people that had shared that. What we're going to do now is we're going to kick this over and share with you a video. Again, we own no rights to this, so if any of the music bleeds over and YouTube has an issue with it, remember that YouTube is the one that muted a video that we, again, don't have the audio rights to, but muted a video that is showing, paying tribute and offering encouragement to a 7-year-old that is battling cancer. So, without further ado, this again was shared on Cora K. Wire's page, and it was pretty moving. Here, have a look. was kind of cool that they put that together in all those different cars they had Today We Play on. I saw an 18-wheeler through the course of that video that had Today We Play, Tegan's name on the side, so that's awesome. That Kids with Valor, great program, and Cora K. Wire doing a lot of good work with them, and we certainly continue to wish the best for young Tegan and his battle. Let's see. Let's get our attention refocused here. Team show, Mad Mike DeFreesia. He was in action at the team derby with Derby Dogs, and they had their team was dedicated. The team name was the Highwaymen. They dedicated that team to Muggs Mishorik, born back in 1939, passed away this year. It was a tribute car that he was in, so that was cool to see that. And boy, everybody's just hammering me tonight, trying to keep up with everything. And Jamie Eldridge came away with a win over the weekend at the Yates County Fair in Penn Yan. Good win for him. Eldridge Incorporated coming with a win there, and they didn't waste any time. They're already turning their attention to the next round of action and where they're going to be headed next. I anticipate probably seeing them at either, if not both, the Seneca County Fair here in Waterloo. And then in addition to that, we anticipate we'll probably see them show up at the Ontario County Fair in Canandaigua. Jamie Eldridge, again, coming up with a win at the Yates County Fair. And Randy Maslowski, he had a pretty tore-up car, found the loud pedal, got second place, and a Mad Dog Award out of that run over the weekend. So good run for him. Let's see. We'll probably turn our attention now to Johnny Gullo here in a moment, and we'll get him on the line. As long as all that stuff's saved. There's that. Good deal. So we'll get Johnny on the line. We'll talk a little bit about what's happening in Canada and what's happening with the Wasatch wipeout, which is coming up here in a little over a week at the Heber City complex, where they have all the demolition derby action Friday the 28th and Saturday the 29th, the days for that. And they're going to go ahead and do all the inspection on Friday, run off the heats, and then run off the second half of that show on Saturday. What's going on? Well, I guess that didn't pan out the way that we wanted it to, huh? Let's see. Try this one more time. I know everybody's riveted. Watch me talk on the phone. Hey, let me put you in.
How you doing?
We're doing okay. Johnny right now. Johnny will set
Into the canyon.
Yeah, I know. We're fighting geography right now more than anything. How'd the Derby in Canada go?
Good. Me and Butch took third place. Dalton, Page, and Daniel took fifth place. Long, hot 2-day weekend and a lot of fixing, and they kept breaking them, and we kept fixing them and coming back for them. So,
what town was that in?
We ran heats on Saturday and Sunday.
Where at?
Vulcan, Alberta.
Yeah.
Home of Mr. Spock. Live long and prosper.
The show seemed to turn out pretty well. Good tune-up, get everybody in the mood for some of the action coming up here in Heber City. Were you feeling a lot of phone calls and stuff while you were trying to fix all your derby cars?
Yeah, we're actually talking to a lot of guys, and I think there's a bunch coming down to check it out so they can come back next year. That border crossing is a funny thing to deal with, but a lot of them sound like they want to come down and play next year for May Mania. They're really liking the team show, and come down and watch the Wasatch Wipeout.
Have you got a date yet for May Mania? Is it too early to think about that?
Say that again?
Have you got a date yet for May Mania? Is it too early to be thinking about May Mania?
May Mania, we're going to open registration. I believe I stated November 1st.
Okay.
And our date is May, whatever the Saturday, 21st, 25th, whatever that Saturday is.
Okay. Good deal. The Heber City show itself, everything seems to have come together pretty well for that. How are the locals embracing the show at this point?
Good. I mean, we're having a good turnout. Not too bad. I think we're going to be in the mid-40s for car count. A little light of what we were shooting for $90,000 in prize money, but it is what it is, and the guys are going to put on a hell of a show.
That $90,000 in prize money, I can't believe that it didn't max out. But we've talked about it before, is how almost not to downplay it, but how almost spoiled the Midwest is, and any fair, any derby that happens, there's always big money on the line. You don't see anything like that around here.
No, it's crazy. There's like 3 shows left that pay $1,000 till all the rest are $6,000-$7,000 or better to win. And then all the Stern Dirt shows are in the $10,000 or plus range.
That's incredible.
Just crazy.
The compact guys.
The nice thing about it, it's up towards Park City, so if you're bringing your wives, bring your wallet because they're going to spend a lot of money.
How about the compact guys? Where are they at in terms of the Stern Dirt schedule at this point? We saw Danny Ogden put on a heck of a show when we were out there in May. He says it's something that he'd be willing to do again. Is there anything coming down the line for those guys at Halloween Havoc or May Mania?
We actually added a mini car heat to the Wasatch Wipeout on Friday night.
Okay.
Gotten pretty good response from it. It's a true mini car heat, not the 108 wheelbase.
Okay.
Front wheel drive class. We're going to come back to the front wheel drive class when the new State Fair, the Day of Reckoning show at the new stadium. We're going to do that one again.
Okay. I like the sounds of that. What's the inch wheelbase cutoff then? If you're calling it true mini car, are you going to go like 105?
105. Yep, 105 or less. 6 cylinders or smaller. We really never ran a compact class before, so we just kind of let the drivers that are running at Heber create the rules and let them enforce it. So
you've done that now with a couple divisions, and it seems like that's working out. The trucks, sort of the trucks that we saw, I think it was at May Mania, had something similar in place where you guys want to run trucks. Do you guys go get the trucks? Do you guys figure out the rules for the trucks? And they sort of self-police, and it took a lot of the pressure off of the Stern Dirt plate, but it also took a lot of the nonsense and bickering back and forth among factions out of the way too.
Right, it kept it inside that little group because, as you know, when you're doing the little one-off specialty heats, they're a unique group that like to run those only. They typically don't run any of the big cars or the older car classes or anything, and that's all they want to do. So you might as well put the money in their hands and the rules in their hands and let them police themselves, because typically it's, you get 7, 8 of them and it's the same guys all the time, so they can yell at each other.
The rules conversation has sort of settled down now regarding Heber City itself.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and that's what was kind of voted on, and we've changed a few things for May Mania, allowing a few extra things, full hood welding and trunk welding, axle savers. Really the only thing that separates it from one of the bigger classes or full classes, still no tranny protectors or bell housings.
Why not run those? Because of the cost?
A lot of the time, well, we did, and just like any rules, the guys started pushing it, and they pushed it to a point, and we pulled it away, and now we'll revisit. But we've told them next year we're going to revisit the bell housings and a few other of the rules that were taken away because they were just, bluntly abused.
Right. I mean, does a transmission protector is this number one job to protect the transmission, or is this number one job something else first?
The rule is to protect the transmission. The idea from the driver's side is to wedge the belly so it's not going to belly out the car and last a lot longer. And it just becomes, we had to started with the distributor protectors, and
right.
Hey, how come you got this 2-foot 1/4-inch plate behind the motor? That's my distributor protector. But you're running a 440, distributors in the front.
Right.
Well, yeah. So
the local guys out there, there's so much ingenuity in that population and the way that they drive their cars. How many of those were coming out when they were allowed? How many of those were coming out of the derbies with bent transmission protectors or bell housings that had begun to fold, or were they pushing the backs of the distributor protectors into the blocks themselves, or anything along those lines?
In the past, there was a lot, which is one of the reasons we started going back to the retro rolls. I've seen a big push on that on the East Coast, too, as a lot of guys getting away from that heavy stuff. There's a place for it, and there's derbies for that stuff. But we felt it was pushing a lot of the drivers out.
Pushing them out due to the cost or the time, combination of both?
The cost, and they want to have fun and go wreck a car versus build a tank and spend hours and days and months sorry about it, a big rainstorm coming up here. We're kind of negotiating. What was I saying?
We're talking about
the cost of driving them out, and then when you get the same 3 or 4 guys dominating, and you got a fresh guy. I can't tell you how many rookies I've said, "Hey, come to my house and let's build you a quick car," and they're all excited, and they go out and get taken out in one hit, and then they don't come back.
Right.
It's hard enough to keep these guys in the sport, because if you look at the average age of our drivers out there, we're not getting younger. There's not a lot of the kids out there that want to do this anymore.
What's the biggest thing that's hurting the sport in your area? I mean, you made reference right there to the age of the drivers. What's the biggest thing that's sort of hampering the sport at this point? You see a lot of area, just on your way back from Canada. What's been the biggest thing on that side of the Rocky Mountains?
I think cost. The shells anymore are ridiculous. You're $1,000 to $2,000 to get a competitive shell. So we've gotten really creative in trying to come up with the different classes and the cheaper car builds and unique stuff. We've got something special coming up for our West Jordan show that no one knows what we're going to do, but it's kind of cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. And trying to, and I guess that's probably getting the fun back into it.
Yeah. That's not the passenger class, right? There's something more beyond that?
Yeah. The passenger class is good. We get a lot of, we started that, we had, 3 or 4 cars the first year, and now we're getting like 20 of them. And that gives the wives involved, so that kind of is a nice carrot to appease both sides of the bed, to say. So,
how did you guys find out, changing gears back to Canada, how did you guys find out about this show that you're just on your way back from up there in Vulcan?
Wasatch or Vulcan?
In Vulcan first.
Sean Umschild invited us last year. It was their first year of doing a team derby, and all those guys, Dave Kemsley and Devin and a bunch of the other guys from Canada, always come down and support our show, so we wanted to go up. We try and travel across and return the favor to a lot of the places that people come from to visit us. And we try and do at least 1 to 2 shows in another area a year just to support them back.
I think that's cool. The derby atmosphere up there in Alberta has been pretty hot for a while. That was one of the first places where I think they did something crazy. Rick Clark was telling us about a 50,000 to win show someplace up that direction. I don't know if it was in the Saddle Dome or not, but it was up in the...
I think they did $100,000 at one time, way many years ago. And
that's crazy.
But what's funny is those guys, they really like the retro rolls.
Yeah.
That's what this build was really close to our Maymania Heber build. Almost identical, to be honest with you. A few oddball changes, but it was almost identical, and it was a lot of fun, and that's what they like. Most of, Washington's that way, Northern Idaho's that way, Montana's kind of turning that way.
How many of those places have actually adopted in full the Stern Dirt rules?
Say that one more time.
How many of those? I mean, you mentioned Washington, you mentioned Idaho, Montana. It's a little ways away from where you guys are kind of hubbed out of, that Salt Lake City, Ogden area, Heber City area. How many of those places have adopted in full the Stern Dirt rule book? I mean, it seems like the rule book that you guys have got is pretty popular with a lot of different drivers that they have a lot of different likes and tastes in terms of what they want. You know, it's not just a GM build, it's not just a Mopar build, it's not just a one thing or another. How many of those places have actually either said that they want to use it or just flat out taken it, and you've got your set of rules that sort of unilaterally implemented between Washington, Idaho, Montana, Lower Canada, Utah, stuff like that?
And I know a lot of them have started that. They actually call us for permission, and we're like, yeah, go for it. You know, they do their own little hometown tweaks that their guys like, and but for the most part, they pick them up because they are a detailed set of rules. Or I don't know if Ben's on in your show today, and he can comment. I mean, it's a unilateral set of rules that really doesn't give any one car a dominating feature, so you don't end up with a Wagon Fest or a Caddy Fest or Chrysler Fest or something. Mm-hmm. Every car is going to stand a chance the way we've written them. We saw that
at May Mania. There was an army of one in that Mopar, and he ended up getting right down into the top 5.
Hang on a second. On this side under the other box, just blew a tire. So, yeah, driver's side. Say it one more time.
Oh, I was just saying that. Did you just say that you blew a tire?
What?
Did you just say that you blew a tire?
Yeah, I blew a tire on the big trailer out back, so the boys are out changing it.
Oh, okay.
So you got me for a minute.
All right.
Talked to me for a long time so they can get it fixed so I don't have to go out there.
All right. Well, this is it worked out good. It kept you out of the canyon a little longer. Just in terms of the rules and how they can be implemented on multiple different cars. We've seen the Mopars do well out there. Even the Army 1, and I'm blanking on his last name, it was the brown Mopar. He got down into the top 5 running by himself at May Mania, and he had to come through the garage.
Kyle Mendez out of Canada, yeah.
Up in Canada, we haven't talked to anybody from up in that Alberta area, and it seems like the drivers that we've come across in Salt Lake City and Ogden, they have a similar mindset. Certainly would prefer to use a car more than one time if they can, but they don't build the car with the intention of running it multiple times. Is that the same up there in Alberta? Is that a case where those guys are building that to ruin it?
They're there to junk it. They've got definitely a Utah-style mentality. I tell you what, I am sore today. They beat the hell out of us. It was 15 cars in the main, and 5 of them were us. Dalton lost the transmission early, so it was on 4, and they literally tell us, and they're great guys, don't get me wrong, I love all of them, they are all very helpful. It's one of those fun derbies where it's just whatever it takes, whatever I can do to get you back in the arena so I can kick your ass again, I'll do. What do you need? You know? But they tell us going in, you will not take our money home. I'm like, okay, and this year, me and Butch, Gumby's car blew a motor, didn't even pull it off the trailer, so it was me and Butch all by ourselves on our team. And we made it to 3rd place, fighting off 10 of them. And they didn't hit it. Even afterwards, the crowd's going, they didn't hit anyone but you guys, the USA guys, until you were out. Then they turned on each other. That's the way it should be. And we expect it, and we have fun, and afterwards we drank beer and had a good time.
That's funny. That whole thing with not sparing a car, it doesn't bode well with having the likelihood of catching up with them at Halloween Havoc, I guess.
No.
Tell them to start putting plate on it. Maybe they can find a class for them.
There's a couple that are going to bring those cars to Halloween Havoc, so we're going to be excited to have them come down, and we're going to move that to the new stadium also. So
awesome.
That's our big news.
That's how's the new stadium coming along?
They were just putting the finishing touches on the weekend that we left, so last Friday, and we're cracking it open to the public this week. So we're excited to get down there and see it. We're going to have Dalton go down and do some video footage of it for the hype video, and so everybody will get a good shot of it. What's going on? He's going to do some drone work with it.
So if I remember correctly, it's basically the equivalent to the Ogden Arena with another Ogden Arena put on top of it. The Golden Spike doubled up. It's like a giant Utah Coliseum.
With 6,000 more seats, yes.
That's amazing. I can't wait to get out there when we're there in October. It's going to be a good one. And Halloween Havoc, the nice part about that is there's a class for everybody. You can find a place to run whatever you've got laying around. There's bound to be something for everybody. Regardless of your taste. If you like the heavy weld stuff, you like the light weld stuff, compacts, trucks, it's all there.
It's funny because they all call me and say, so what are the rules? What are the rules? Let's bring it. What do you mean bring it? Do whatever you want to do it. Even the guys up here in Alberta are talking, so what can I do to this car to fix it for Havoc? It says, as much or as little as you want to do. And that's all we do. So you have a light class, medium class, heavy class, outlaw class. That's basically how it rolls.
We'll put you where you fit. And if you don't fit any of them, go back and either start welding or cutting. It's your choice.
Exactly.
The Heber City show coming up Friday the 28th, Saturday the 29th. You can watch it all at home online on DerbyNation.tv. Excited to have everybody along with us. Looking forward to getting out there and seeing that new arena. It's state-of-the-art arena, and they've got their own television presentation set up already. So all we got to do is drop a line and tap into it. We'll have multiple camera angles ready to bring everything to everybody.
Yeah, we're excited to get that done. We were very impressed. They had their own production trailer and the whole 9 yards. So hopefully we get some good feeds out of it, and everybody can enjoy the show for 2 days. We're going to run mini cars and 5 or 6 heats Friday night. Then we're going to shut it down. Then everybody will be allowed to build it from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. on Saturday, and fix-it stops. We'll do grudge matches, stock cars, trucks, and then run the main event, and then a wipeout, because it is the Wasatch wipeout.
Awesome. The wipeout, basically, it's just a free-for-all at the end. Everybody who's got anything left to run, bring it out one more time.
Exactly, especially all these guys that are coming from out of state. They don't want to take anything home. So,
are you going to be going around the pits buying cars that are junk?
One more time?
Are you going to be going around the pits, all those guys that don't want to bring anything home? Are you going to be going around the pits buying cars that are junk?
Yeah, absolutely. Prices are a little better in Utah, but that'd be nice to do. we got to find a car for Josh to run at Havoc. So.
Well, there's a good start right there. Track something down. Get him something that's already falling apart. That way he won't know it. He won't know what hit him.
We'll do what I did to Tori. We'll put him in one that's half bent, and he has to duck his head to get in. So.
That's brutal.
Just so he can feel good the next day.
That's brutal. Well, is there anything else? Is there anything else we got to hit on?
I'm going to jump out and help these guys. I appreciate the call. We hope to see everybody on Crash Course July 28th and 9th.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Can't wait. We'll see you later. Bye now. There goes Johnny Gullo. We're going to be getting to Ian Doyle here. Ian Doyle here in just a minute. He's on his way. He's trying to get here from Union Springs, but unfortunately he's not going to make it. We've got Ian waiting in the wings. We need to walk through a bunch of this stuff first before we get on to our next topic here. Blizzard Bash coming up just around the corner. If you can imagine November 8th to 12th being around the corner, but you guys know how the clock works. It's going to be just like that, and it'll be here Thursday the 9th. It's going to be national and team qualifying, national and qualifying team round number 1, 4 o'clock start time on the 9th out there at the Kansas Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. Friday the 10th is going to be the RC Derby at 9 o'clock. 6 o'clock is national and qualifying team round 2, 14 to 17-year-old youth division, also on the card. Saturday the 11th is the 2-part show. 10 o'clock start for the compact and limited weld teams. First round for them. And then 6 p.m. Power Wheels, all the Team B mains, trucks, youth, and the bone stock, all on the schedule again. Saturday the 11th, 6 o'clock start. And 1 o'clock on Sunday the 12th, that's Championship Sunday, national qualifying, limited weld, and compact team A mains on deck. BlizzardBash.com has all the details. Blizzard Bash 2017, November 8th to the 12th, Kansas Expo Center in Topeka, Kansas. Chaos in the Valley, that's coming up soon, October the 21st. 2017. We're going to be back down there in the Shenandoah Valley with Jason and Penny Shipe and the Thomasbrook Volunteer Fire Department. This show, always a home run. Awesome show. The cars down there are absurd. I think we're going to be back down there for the fair as well. We're looking forward to getting down there and checking this thing out. The Weld class is now open to Imperials, the hearses. The card includes the compacts, the stock division, the Weld classes, the trucks, and vans. Insane show. Jason Shipe's in charge of it. 540-335-7510. Shenandoah County Fairgrounds, Woodstock, Virginia. Look up Chaos in the Valley on Facebook if you want more details. Coming up for our friends out there with Smash It. We'll get into the Smash It schedule here momentarily because we've got to fix that schedule here because we've got some dates that are a little bit old. We're going to have to change that one. I thought for sure we had updated that last week before the show ended, but nonetheless, we have to update it anyway. There, you guys can watch me do it as we go. And we got room for one more. We can get this one from July 23rd in. Sorry about that. There we go. We'll walk through it right now while we got it up there. Upcoming events for Smash It Demolition Derby is online, www.smashitderby.com. Jackson County in Wellston, Ohio. Smash It Class, Compact Cars, Street Stock, Smash It Mowers. That's July 21st. On the 22nd, they got two shows the same day. That's Franklin County and Hilliard, Ohio. 80s Wire, Mild Weld, Mini Cars, Street Stock, Smash It Mowers, and the Power Wheels. July the 22nd, same day as the Fayette County Fair in Washington Courthouse, Ohio. Street Stocks, Compacts, and the 80s Wire class. July 23rd, the next day, another busy one for them. Clark County is the site of that one. Springfield, Ohio. Smash It's, the Mini Cars, and the Power Wheels. Also joining them on the 23rd is Union County in Marysville, Ohio. Mild Weld, Street Stocks, the Compact, Smash It Mowers, and Power Wheels on deck for that one. Smash It Demolition Derby's online, smashitderby.com. Midwest Smash Fest, that was this weekend. We'll get into the results of that momentarily. Here's the details on Stern Dirt Racing's upcoming schedule. The one we just talked with Johnny about, July 28th and 29th, is the Wasatch Wipeout in Heber City. It's a two-day event. Friday is the compact cars and all the heats. Saturday is all the championship rounds. We've got the trucks. We've got the wire class. $84,000 purse being paid out. It's insane show. Can't wait to get out there. It'll be the first time we've been to Heber City. September 9th is the West Jordan Beatdown in West Jordan, Utah. Iron Trucks, Farm Trucks, and the Passenger Derby. And again, they're starting to flirt with like 18, 24 entries for that passenger derby. With the way they drive in Utah, the passengers got to have a Hans device on. $30,000 purse there. September the 16th is the Day of Reckoning. That's the all-new State Fair venue in Salt Lake City. It's basically the double up of the arena that we have been to a bunch of times in Ogden, the Golden Spike Arena. And then Halloween Havoc rounds out their season October the 7th from Witchy Brung. The Pit Party also on deck. That's going to be at the new State Fair venue over there in Salt Lake City. Spinning Wheels Productions, they are gearing up for their next event, August 3rd and 6th at the Otsego County Fair at the Otsego County Fairgrounds in Morris, New York. That one's going to be the 3rd and the 6th. August the 4th is the Wayne County Fair in Honesdale, Pennsylvania. The 25th of August is the GDS Fair in Newfoundland, Pennsylvania. And then September the 30th is the San Filippo Smash at the Otsego County Fairgrounds back in Morris. SpinningWheelsProductions.com has all the details if you're looking for more information on the Spinning Wheels schedule overall. I'm going to get Ian Doyle on the phone now, catch up with him for a few minutes. I got to track down his number and punch that into the phone. And he was on his way back from Union Springs. I can only assume that they found some sort of hot deal on 15 Chryslers or something out that direction. There we go. I think we got it punched in right this time. And we're right on pace for him. So hopefully he'll be able to answer that phone. And maybe if we got time at the back end, we'll give Brandon Tyson a call to see if he's doing anything with the Lamar's Demolition Derby here coming up in a couple weeks. Is that Ian? Hey, let me put you in.
How's it going?
Going all right. Ian, going all right. How's everything going for you?
It's getting there.
Have you finished the car yet?
Yeah, we're working on Dad's car.
Yeah. Now, do you have you coming back to defend the championship, or are you taking a year off and making everybody catch up to your level?
No, I wish I could come back, but they changed the rules, and you got to be 18 this year, so
Is that
I'm
another?
not coming back this year.
Did they name that rule after you?
What was that?
Is that now? Do they call that the Doyle clause?
Yeah, I guess so.
The modified class coming back for this year, 1,500 to win. I got to believe that you wanted to be part of that one, but unfortunately, got to wait a little bit.
Yeah, it sucks, but we got Dad's car cranking, so we're trying to get that done, and hopefully he can do something with it.
So I'd like to ask what he's building, but I kind of already have a feeling that the information that's out there about his car isn't true anyway, and he wouldn't let you tell the truth on the air anyhow. But in terms of what's being built for this, how different is it now that this much information sharing has happened about Demolition Derby and what's going into building this mod car versus where the mod class was at Seneca County back in 2004, 2005? I mean, you were 10 years younger the last time he built a car like this.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's a lot different compared to like last year. We came back. We did the stock show last year, and going into this mod show, my dad had no idea what to do or what to build, and he was debating on what he wanted to run for quite a while, and he finally decided to pick something, and he started building it or whatever, and it's been a little bit of a struggle and a lot of learning and everything for not only him but for me, and we're cranking it though, so it's not too bad.
What's been the most surprising part of this build?
What was that?
Is there a part of this build that has caught you off guard? I mean, you guys have been building cars for a long time. You guys have been building stock cars for Seneca County for 20 years or more. But then you couple that with not you, your dad, because you're not 20 years old yet. Otherwise, you'd be running this weekend. But that being said, is he went through a lot of mod classes, and it was sort of just stick as much metal into it as you can. There wasn't nearly as much geometry and factoring in of angles and pressurizing and things like that went into the cars that Jake was building for those mod shows. So now, what has caught you by surprise? As a builder yourself, as a past champion of that. What about this build? Not even so much comparing things just with stock, but from other places that you've been, has caught you off guard or surprised you by the effort to put this car together?
We kind of just wanted to go back, and my dad's been wanting to go down there and just kind of go down and be a mad dog and try to send it.
Right.
And he's been debating it for years or whatever. So he's kind of given this as his chance to actually do some damage.
Are you going to have the chance to drive any place?
His goal is.
Are you going to have the chance to drive any place this year? I know there was a youth derby that was scheduled at Canandaigua Motorsports Park over the weekend, but that got rained out due to wet grounds. Are you going to have the chance to drive it all this year?
I'm hoping to go to Canandaigua when the fair is,
okay,
and hopefully Paris.
They got a little bit different rules? Or they just don't check as close?
It's a little bit different.
Different rules, or they just don't check driver's licenses as close?
Yeah, they check, but they run at 16 to 17 8-year-olds or 17-year-olds down there.
Right. You just had a birthday. You just had a birthday a little bit ago, right? It was just a couple weeks back that you turned 17.
Yeah, I turned 17 on July 5th.
And then looking forward after Seneca County, you've got to get all your RC stuff charged up and ready to go, because thankfully there's no age limit on that. You'll be able to go down to Radio Hill and run your Outlaw Derby car down there.
Yeah, that's what the goal is.
So in terms of... go ahead.
Almost a little time.
In terms of your summer, so past Ontario County, you're going to have a chance to drive again. Are you looking at anything at Kings of Old School or any of the postseason shows down at Brookfield Wheel Days?
No, we haven't really put any thought about any other places.
Yeah.
Mostly just our local shows or whatever.
Gotcha. What do you guys expect? Is you guys building a stock car as well, or just running the mod car this year?
No. Right now, he's just looking to run the mod car. I mean, yeah, he's been putting 4 months into it. He really hasn't had time to build another car and everything. So
Right.
it's mostly all in for the mod car.
Well, I can understand that. Those mod cars, especially the first time you dive into them, Donnie Hartzell can tell you it seems intimidating what you get going on. It's just a matter of going slow, taking your time, and putting the thing together. He made his first venture out there to Bash for Cash this year. He's another past champion like yourself and your dad at Seneca County. So, I mean, that the mod class certainly has a lot of traction. 1,500 to win. Qualifying night at the Seneca County Fair is scheduled for Thursday, along with the figure eights, the junk run there. Your dad going to try the junk run, or has it been all in on this mod car? Nothing else besides the mod car?
No, we haven't really found anything for the junk run, so we just didn't do that.
He's Jake's had some luck in that. Jake Doyle in the past has had some success there as well. And then championship night, 6:30 scheduled start time according to the Seneca County Fair NY.com website. 6:30 start time for Saturday with the stock heats, consolations, and championship round, 4-cylinder, one-and-done championship. The truck, full-size trucks, one-and-done championship, and then that mod class championship as well. So, unfortunately, Ian Doyle, going into Seneca County as the defending champion, you're going to be watching from the sidelines. Maybe your dad can protect that trophy for you for a little while until you can get back in the game next year.
Yeah, hopefully you can, yeah.
Well, Ian, I appreciate you making some time and coming on the show with us for a little bit. We'll catch you really here this weekend.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Ian. We'll see you.
Yeah.
There goes Ian Doyle. That rule change really catching those guys and leaving Ian on the sidelines, unfortunately. It's a tough situation for him. And we'll see if we can't get Brandon Tyson on the phone. Talk a little bit about Lamar's quick, because we got a few minutes left in the show before we got to get out of here. Otherwise, maybe we'll just pull the plug on it, call it good at 45 minutes, and see everybody again back here next Monday as we start our final approach. Chautauqua County sitting right around the corner. That's going to be coming up. We're going to be out there next Tuesday. We're going to try and maybe do a little bit of live stuff out there as part of the Chautauqua County Fair. Hey, there's Brandon Tyson. We'll put him right into the microphone box, so he's got the opportunity. There's Brandon. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. You pumping and working right now?
What's that?
Are you working right now?
No, I'm not.
No. Hey, that's lucky. How's everything coming for Lamar's?
Going really good. I got about 13 teams signed up so far, and I know of a few more coming. So 26 cars, I'm happy for that class for sure. Yeah.
I had to make a show placard for you. I didn't make those. I was anxious to catch up with you about Lamar's. I know I didn't tell you that I was calling, but I'd planned on doing it anyway because I thought it would be more fun to surprise you.
Yeah, you surprised me. That's for sure.
Did you end up going?
It's coming together great.
That's good. Did you end up going down to Nebraska over the weekend or no?
No, I did not. I didn't make it. I ended up going to a wedding instead.
There was two derbies. Ultimate Derby had a derby in man, now I can't think of it. Onema, and then they had the derby. Geneva, Nebraska had their derby over the weekend. The Midwest Smash Fest was scheduled to go off. It went off successfully, and I had the win list right here. First place in that one, 28 cars on the track, 53 minutes. Creighton Demuth and Jeremy Blake came away with a win in that one. Josh and Shed Turner were second. Clayton Olson and Dylan Lane got third out of that. Limited Weld won heat. Mike Flater won that one. Greg Pribble was second. Nick Thigh was third. The Bone Stock one when done was Nick Roberts winning that. Bill Schropfner was second, and Zach Holtzen was third place. So that was pretty good. 53 minutes for 28 cars. It was 14 two-man teams. It was pretty good turnout, all things considered. Glad that they were able to get that one off, and it was successful for them. Brandon, I know you've got it's sort of the farewell tour, so to say, for you at Lamar's. Has it been any easier this year, or has it been more difficult in years past?
Actually, this year's been about the smoothest, which makes it a little bit more bittersweet. But, yeah, it'd be my last year putting on the show. Raising money went great. We raised about $10,350 this year, which is above and beyond last year, which helped to actually cover some stuff. So it's been going great. The two-man bolt and chain team show is turning out to be a pretty big hit with people. Like I said, we have 13 right now. I'm assuming we'll have about 15 teams. You know, just something new that's never been done before. Right. And compacts have been calling in like crazy. We're capping that at about 24. Yeah, and we also added a powder puff, so it's going to be a really fun end of the year. And last time doing it for me for sure.
Are you starting to have second thoughts and thinking about maybe doing it again in 2018, given how smooth this year's gone?
No, I don't think so. Kids are getting older and want to do a lot of other things, and it's just taking up a lot of time. It is bittersweet. I love putting it on, but it's time for some more things with the family.
Are you going to be spending more time building derby cars now that you got the free time from the fair?
More RC derby cars for sure, because kids absolutely love that. Which we're also putting on an RC derby Wednesday night of the fair before the derby. And,
really?
That was a huge hit last year, and it's going to be even bigger this year. I don't think the building will hold us.
That's crazy. Maybe we can work on the Power Wheels cars for the kids.
Yeah, the Power Wheels, and everybody who brings Power Wheels, it's $20 entry, and all that money goes to support one son's family. His kids, they have a GoFundMe account set up for his two kids' college account. So anything we can do to help them out. And I'm also working on a car to raffle off in the pits for Troy McGrath. He passed away about a month and a half ago, and trying to send some money for the girls he left behind as well.
Got some tragedy has hit there in the last little bit. Follow along with that. It's good to try and put some of that stuff together, man. That's noble of you.
Yeah, we're trying to do what we can to just kind of help out in their time of need, because God forbid none of us would want to be in that situation for sure. So anything with little kids left behind, that's real hard. So raise as much money as we can to help them out.
With all the planning, have you had a chance to get out on that boat at all?
No, not this week at all. Not this week at all. It's been busy. It's been real busy, but trying to wrap up the sponsors and wrap up what we need for the day of. So I also put on the figure eight races Sunday night after the Derby. So a lot of planning, a lot of prepping, but it's all worth it in the end. We set out originally to raise the pay in our area, and after the first year, every single show in the area went up and matched us. So it definitely did the job, and it hasn't gone down, and been chasing my tail ever since. But that's why we did it, to help pay the drivers what they deserve for the time and effort they put into it.
That's cool. Having that effect on your areas is pretty good, and hopefully that has a lasting effect. You know, the fair board been pretty good to work with in terms of getting the purse up, keeping it up, and all signs pointing to at least keeping where it is, if not going up again after you step away.
Oh, absolutely. The fair has given me free reign of what I want to do as long as I can cover it, and they've helped out a lot in the past, and working with them and trying to fill my spot as smoothly as possible. And we got one person in mind, so we're trying to see how that goes. If they are serious about wanting to do it, if they are, it'll be a very smooth transition. Everybody will be very happy.
That's awesome. Looking beyond Lamar's, which is coming up here on it's the 29th, right?
Yes, 29th, and figure eight's on the 30th. Yep.
Looking past that, what else have you got planned for the summer besides getting out on the lake and hanging out with the kids? You going to do any other derbies in the area?
I'm not sure about derbies. We are thinking about taking a trip out your way to come visit again. So, that'll be our big vacation for the summer, big getaway, I think.
When are you guys coming out here?
I don't know yet. We got to talk about it. We got to plan, put something on paper.
All right, I'll call you after the show's over with.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm just going to show up on your doorstep just like you call me at the grocery store. No big deal.
I love it. I'm all for it. This is the second time I think that I've caught you at the grocery store on the show.
Probably, yeah, probably.
Just wanted to make note here. We got another note in from Matt Vern Newcomb. So Dylan Lane stole the show, took third place with Clayton, and Dylan won 3 individual awards. He won the Pound for Pound, Up on the Wheel, and the Plum Crazy Awards, which is awesome. Congratulations out to Dylan. Proud of his efforts, man. I'm glad those guys decided to go. At one point we were talking to them, and they said that they didn't really know. And then when I talked to Dylan again, he said as long as the car gets finished up and they don't run any major problems, transmissions break or engine issues, that they would definitely be making the trip. So definitely made it worth it. Third place and then 3 individual awards. Nice job for Dylan out there. But turning our attention back to the grocery shopping, you want me to let you go so you can finish so you don't have to wander around talking on the phone looking like a crazy guy in the store?
Yeah, it's pretty normal anyway, so not a big deal. Talk loud, so I always look weird.
You're the only guy that I know that can look over the top of the grocery store aisles to know what's on the other side.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hide when you're 6'7" in a grocery store, so appreciate that.
Well, I think it'd be great if you could make the trip out in August, and then we'll have to try and figure out a way to lure you back out here again in December for New Year's Eve.
Absolutely, buddy, absolutely. We love coming out.
Well, let me wrap up the show here. Give me a few minutes. I'll let you finish grocery shopping, and I'll give you a call here tonight. We'll figure something out.
Sounds good, man. Take care. Appreciate the call.
All right, man. You bet. Brandon Tyson in charge of the Derby in Lamar's, Iowa on the 29th of July. The 30th is the figure 8 race. Kind of caught him off guard. Caught him at the grocery store. That's always cool. I've done that to him a couple times now. Well, I'm looking over our list of stuff to hit on. We got Ian, Seneca County. We got Chautauqua County. We got Gullo. We hit on Ontario County coming up next week at the Canandaigua Motorsports Park in Ontario County. And then we hit on that a little bit. I think we did everything that we wanted to hit on. Again, our condolences out to Pete Hansen losing his dad. And I also saw Mike Decker post that he lost his dad as well, which our condolences out to Mike and just a bad thing, man. Terrible thing to go through. If you still got your parents with you, make sure that you let them know that you appreciate their company, because they're not going to be around forever. Unfortunately, some of those guys are living that nightmare right now, and our thoughts out with them. But I think we've covered all the bases that we are going to cover tonight. We'll be back here again next Monday to recap some of the action from the weekend and look back at Seneca County, the mod show. Brian's going to be running over there, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper again, try and catch up with some of the drivers that are going to be running not this weekend, but next weekend, as they get ready for that Wasatch wipeout. That's going to do it for this one. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll see everybody again right back here next week. Thanks for watching.
The Crash Course Live is presented by
Smash It Demolition Derby, who host Bash for Cash, Blizzard Bash, and Capital City Carnage. Online at smashitderby.com. And Stirring Dirt Racing, hosts of May Mania's team show at the Golden Spike Arena in Ogden, Utah. Online at stirringdirtracing.com.
Reckless Abandon Derby Apparel and Derby Inc. Magazine. This is the Crash Course Demolition Derby podcast, recorded live at the FingerLakes1.com studios in downtown Seneca Falls, New York.